These are creepy TikToks that will make you rethink your whole reality.
But have you ever actually seen the moon get hit by one? If not, you're about to witness it.
A few minutes later, Debbie pulled up to the house and Josie quickly told her about what happened, that the front door was open and there was someone inside the home, possibly the owner. Debbie paused and said, well, that's not possible. The older gentleman who owned the home passed away a few months back and the home has been empty ever since.
And it doesn't even matter if she was born a boy, but this photo is fake. Let's debunk this conspiracy.
He told his roommate that he got a ride, the two got in the car, but from the second they did, Tom's demeanor shifted. Clark continued to ask him about the company, and when he did, Tom didn't seem to want to talk about work at all anymore. He also kept his mask on the entire ride.
There comes a point in their career where they're actually going to choose to sell their soul to the devil.
I'm back, it's your boy Fittie to the E, and I know I've been gone for a little bit. It's been 2 weeks since I posted a video, but my birthday was February the 4th, so I took a little bit of time off. This is technically my birth week. It's the 7th right now. I have one video coming out for you guys before Friday or on Friday, and then I got another. This video is probably coming out a week from now, so yeah, hopefully 7 days till Valentine's Day. Maybe this might come out on Valentine's Day, who knows. Maybe this might be my Valentine's Day gift to you. I got a compilation for you guys today. Make sure to watch to the end. If you guys like the chain, check the link down below. 99% of these chains are free right now, so if you guys like the chain, check the link down in the description.
Have a Llorona story time. The person who submitted this has been tagged down below so I can actually use her real name, Rachel. This story actually just happened back in October. Rachel and her sister were on vacation in Salem, Massachusetts. The last night they were there, they were laying in bed in their hotel room watching TV when they started to randomly hear the sound of a woman crying. Now this crying was more like a wailing. It sounded like this woman was really in agony. Rachel and her sister did not really know what to make of it. Their first thought was to look out the window to see what was going on, but they were so tired that they decided to just lay in bed. The crying went on for about 15 minutes, then it started to get lower and lower until the crying finally stopped, so the girls didn't think anything of it. Rachel's sister eventually fell asleep, but Rachel stayed up watching TV. At about 3 a.m., the crying started again, and now it was extremely loud. It sounded like it was almost right outside their window. At this point, Rachel decided that she was going to get up and investigate, but when she got up, she realized that the crying now sounded further and further away. Rachel decided that she was gonna look out of her window anyways, just to see if she could see anything, but she stopped when she realized that she could hear footsteps coming from right outside her window. At that point, she decided to shut the TV down, shut off all the lights, and go to bed, or at least try to. The crying did eventually stop. So if you ever happen to be in the Salem area, make sure you're listening. You might hear her too.
Good thing I'm never in that area. Hell no. Yo, imagine just trying to chill and then all of a sudden just hear crying like, who the f?
Like, who's crying right now, bro?
Doppelganger is a German word meaning double taker. In the world of paranormal, a doppelganger is often portrayed as a ghostly or paranormal phenomenon. A doppelganger is like your evil twin. It is a sinister or evil entity out to get you. Others believe that doppelgangers are a form of demons, hence why it's said to be bad luck if you see your doppelganger. I'm your host, Lindsay Ivan, and in today's video, let's take a look at some of the scariest doppelganger stories.
There's a street right here where you weren't supposed to walk alone. This is where my grandma, my abuelita, used to live and where I used to stay during the holidays. Think of all the monsters you know. They exist here in Puebla, Mexico. There was a lady right here who would never come out, and a lot of my family members thought that she practiced a lot of witchcraft, a lot of brujeria. And on this street right here, a lot of my cousins would say that they would see La Llorona, a spirit, a ghost crying for her kids. There was also a hill right here where people would see the devil, El Diablo. During the day, everyone would go out and play, but at night, people had to be careful.
If I'm being honest, that sounds like the typical ghost stories, like, during the day, everything was calm until night struck, where everything went crazy. I'm being honest, man, but maybe he's not lying. Maybe there's like werewolves there, vampires.
Those sparkling ones from Twilight.
Like, bro's probably not lying.
Are you ready for a spooky story? Josie and her husband were moving to Charleston and were in the midst of looking for a home to buy. She had been working with a realtor named Debbie and set to meet her at a beautiful home built in the 1800s that just hit the market. Josie pulled up to the house for the showing, looked in, and through the front window saw a figure walking around inside. She assumed it was Debbie. Josie walked up to the front door and found it ajar, again figuring Debbie had left it open. She popped her head in and said, "Hello?" But no response. Josie pushed the front door open a bit more, stepped inside, and as she did, she could distinctly hear footsteps. Someone was walking around upstairs. She called out again, "Hello, Debbie?" Still no response. And then heard a door shut upstairs. Josie was getting nervous. There was obviously someone here, maybe the owner, so she quickly ran out the front door and waited outside. A few minutes later, Debbie pulled up to the house and Josie quickly told her about what happened, that the front door was open and there was someone inside the home, possibly the owner. Debbie paused and said, "Well, that's not possible. The older gentleman who owned the home passed away a few months back and the home has been empty ever since." Debbie also said that front door should have been locked. Debbie thought it was a possible intruder and asked for police to come search the home. But when police got there, they found the house was completely empty. Police said there was no sign of any intruder. Josie remains convinced that it was the ghost of the past owner she saw and heard that day, and took the fact the owner left the door open for her as a sign that they were welcome there. And Josie and her husband ended up buying the home. Would you move into a haunted house?
No. Yo, why would I move into a haunted? If I specifically know a house is haunted, why would I move into it? Like, let's say, you know how some people just be like just have speculations, like,
you know, this guy did die here, so it could be haunted.
But some, like, I would say 7 out of 10 times they're not haunted. But if you know for a fact that a house is haunted, why would you want to move into that house? If you would move into that house, put it down in the comments.
Scary Places Part 9. The Duivelsberg, or Devil's Hill, is a hill located near Nijmegen in the Netherlands that is said to be haunted by the devil himself. For centuries, stories have circulated about the sinister goings on at this cursed hill. Some say that the Duivelsberg is home to a coven of witches. Women who were accused of witchcraft were convicted, hanged, and burned on this hill. The souls of these deceased women are said to still be present, and everyone who visits the area talks about feeling like they are being watched. One legend tells of a group of travelers who set out to climb the Duivelsberg on a dark and stormy night. As they reached the summit, they were met with a terrible sight, a pack of glowing eyes staring back at them from the darkness. To this day, many people still claim to see the devil on the hill, especially at night. Despite these chilling tales, many still visit the Duivelsberg, drawn by its dark and mysterious beauty. But be warned, for those who dare to tread too close to the hill's secrets may never return.
Yeah, man, people got to be careful. It's like those missing 411 cases. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that. It's basically like the national parks where people just go missing. Like, they'll walk around, you know what I'm saying, go a little bit too far and then just never be seen again. Yeah, you do not want to end up like those people, man. I really wonder what happens to those people. Like, realistically, like, what happened?
This town is so haunted, it's burned to the ground 3 separate times. This is the notoriously spooky Jerome, Arizona. Known as the wickedest town in the West, Jerome, Arizona burned down 3 times in 3 years in the late 1800s. Back in the day, it was known for copper mining and also became notorious for its seediness. But over time, population dwindled and it became a ghost town. The whole town is thought to be haunted, but the Jerome Grand Hotel itself has a really creepy history. Before it was a hotel, it was a hospital where an estimated 9,000 souls spent their final hours. It opened to guests in the 90s, and visitors here report some pretty strange occurrences. Often, folks will report waking up to the sound of someone breathing in their room, only to turn on the light and no one's there. Lights flicker. Others report the sound of someone crying to the front desk, only for staff to check and find the room that the crying is coming from is completely empty. Have you revisited, and do you think you could last a night here?
Yeah, I think I could last a couple nights if I'm being real. Just bring a camera and just so you guys can see what I'm going through, but I think I could genuinely just stay there and be like, okay, it's okay right here. I'm chilling.
She had no idea that she was actually talking to a ghost. This story comes to us from a viewer. She writes, "Hi Avery, I'm Sienna, and Halloween 2021 was the most unexplainable night of my life. My 2 friends and I made a plan to spend Halloween night at a local haunted house. This home was built in the 1800s and it was a big, beautiful Victorian mansion and supposedly very haunted. That night, the 3 of us and about 10 others met with a tour guide who was going to give us a ghost tour. The tour was done in the dark, which added a layer of spookiness, and we all held candles to guide us through the home. And another thing, our tour guide was dressed in a full Victorian gown. She looked like she was from that time. It was actually really cool. We set out for the tour, and 20 or so minutes in, we had just finished touring the basement cellar when we were set to head upstairs, and I had to use the restroom. The restroom is right over there, dear. Just catch up with us after you're finished. We'll be right upstairs, the tour guide said. I went in, did my thing, and opened the door to an empty hallway. I looked up and saw another tour guide standing in a doorway down the hall. She was dressed just as the other tour guide, full green gown with her hair up and a beautiful updo. I walked towards her and smiled. This home is really nice. I'm really enjoying the tour, I said as I passed by her. She then slowly turned, looked at me, smiled, and then went, shh, as she lifted her finger to her lips. As I walked back up the stairs, I looked back at the guide and she just watched me with a smirk. The tour finished about 30 minutes later, and as we were leaving, our main tour guide thanked us for coming and said she had to lock up. I don't want to be here too late with all the ghosts, she said. Well, hopefully the other tour guide can help you so you can get out of here, I said to her as I put on my coat. What other tour guide? She asked. The woman in the green gown, I said matter-of-factly. She paused for a second and then said, Darling, there is no other tour guide here tonight. I'm the only one. The tour guide smiled and said, You met Constance. Who? I asked, thoroughly confused. Turn around, she said. And as I did, I saw her. The portrait of the woman I saw hanging right there in the hallway. Wait a second, how? I asked her. Constance was the lady of the house and one of the most commonly reported spirits here. You saw a ghost tonight, she said. I had always been a believer, but seeing her that night, standing right in front of me, is an experience that I will never ever forget. I believe that Constance was there, watching over her house, keeping an eye on things.
Nah. So all I gotta say is no. Yo, nah. Imagine, can't even imagine that one, man. I could never do that, dude. Walk into a house, like, yeah, the other tour guide told me to, and then it's just like,
what other tour guide? There's no other tour guide.
It was like, but she was in great.
Oh yeah, you met the dead one.
What? What dead tour guide?
I was like, you see her picture? Her picture is right there. That's who you met.
I was like, how did I meet her if she's dead?
I don't know. You just met her. I'm like,
I would just not even. I was like, nah, bro. I'm leaving. I'm sorry.
These are videos humans were never meant to see. Part 19. Okay, so we all know how the moon gets hit by asteroids. But have you ever actually seen the moon get hit by one? If not, you're about to witness it. This video is both extremely fascinating and terrifying. Just look at the explosion this little asteroid causes. Just imagine if this asteroid was bigger.
Nah, that one was crazy. Yo, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think we really understand how fast those asteroids are coming, because you know how space is a vacuum. So even if you do shoot a bullet in space, it's not gonna really be moving too fast. But like, that asteroid was definitely coming in like 3+ times faster than a bullet. Like, that explosion was insane, dude. Let's hope that never happens to Earth, at least as long as we're alive. You know what I'm saying? If it happens after, I mean, RIP the grandkids, but...
Yo, who remembers this episode on Courage the Cowardly Dog? Like, the worst part, it would play at night and I wouldn't be able to go to sleep. What about the Halloween episode on Boy Meets World? At the end of the episode, it's revealed who the monster actually is. Were you like me who would collect all the Goosebumps books just because of the covers? They're pretty cool.
It's not lying. That Courage the Cowardly Dog one, that used to trip me out all the time when I was younger. I was like,
what is going on?
Like, why is it just like, I don't know, it's so weird. Like, mostly when you're like young, it's just like, ugh. It's like, ugh. But now that you're older, it's like, whatever.
And this is why you should always think twice before accepting a ride from a coworker. A guy named Clark just started a new job at a graphic design company a few weeks before Halloween. The company, being a bunch of creatives, were really big on Halloween and always threw a big costume party. The night of, Clark had his roommate drop him off at the party and was set to come back and pick him up later that night. The party was really fun and everyone was dressed up in masks, capes, and costumes were so elaborate he could barely tell who was underneath. Clark had a really good time meeting a bunch of his new coworkers. Around 8:30, his roommate messaged him that he was going to be by to pick him up around 9, so he went out to the parking lot to wait for his ride. When one of his coworkers walked up to the parking lot and the two struck up a conversation, the guy looked to be in his 40s and said his name was Tom Lindell. He had a white mask on and said he worked at the graphic design firm for the past 5 years. The two talked for a while, and Tom seemed to be a really nice guy and even offered to give Clark a ride home as it was on his way. Clark told his roommate that he got a ride, the two got in the car, but from the second they did, Tom's demeanor shifted. Clark continued to ask him about the company, and when he did, Tom didn't seem to want to talk about work at all anymore. He also kept his mask on the entire ride. A couple minutes into the drive, Tom eerily said, "Don't you love Halloween? You can hide behind a mask all night and no one knows who you really are." Tom then asked him, "Do you want to come over to my house for a drink or something?" Clark said, "No thanks, I should be getting home." The car was awkwardly silent for a second when suddenly Tom said, "No, you'll come over." Clark was starting to get a really bad feeling about this entire thing. He needed to get out of there. At the next stoplight, Tom slowed the car and Clark quickly jumped out of the passenger side. "Where are you going? What's your problem?" Tom shouted as Clark jogged down the sidewalk. Clark made it back to his apartment and told his roommate about how strange his coworker was. He really wasn't looking forward to seeing him around the office, and his roommate urged him to report it to their boss. So the next morning, Clark got to work and stopped to talk with the front desk secretary, an older woman named Denise who had worked there for years. Clark said, "Hi Denise, I need to talk to someone about something that happened last night after the party with one of the employees here." Denise said, "Oh no, okay, who?" "Tom Lindell. He said he's worked here for 5 years." The woman then paused. Clark then continued, "He was here last night wearing the white mask?" Denise then said, "I don't know how to tell you this, but there's no Tom Lindell that works here." "Say what, Denise?" "Then who was that?" Clark reported this man to police, and the officer then told him that last Halloween, another man Clark's age went missing after he was seen accepting a ride from a man in a white mask. And he hasn't been seen since.
Hey, you want to come over?
I'm good.
Nah, you're coming over.
What? Yo, I look at him like,
what?
Then he's just gonna be like,
nah, you're coming over.
I'm just gonna be like, hell no, I'm not. I'm like, okay, bro. Grab a frying pan. I'm like, Don't ask me where I got the frying pan from. It was just on deck for a situation like this.
3 clips showing alleged Bigfoot sightings. I beauty there. Most famous clip.
Oh, there he goes.
This guy is so chill.
One day, one of those people that are recording Bigfoot or whatever looks to be Bigfoot, they're gonna be recording like, "Ha, I got him," and then out of nowhere, that big owl, whatever it is gonna run after him. They're gonna be like, "Oh no!" Like, come on, bro. If you see something like that, just get out of there. Why are you recording it? Yo. Even me, if the cameras are not already on, I'm not recording that. I'm out of there.
My aunt was playing with the Ouija board, and yeah, it didn't go well. So back in the 1990s in Mexico, playing with the Ouija board was a norm for teenagers. Everyone was doing it. Like, the parents didn't really care. There was one night where things got really strange. My aunt invited my parents. At the time, my parents were just dating. My dad was really skeptical, but he was really curious. And one of the questions he asked was, "Will I marry her?" My dad tells me that the cup just moved by itself and it landed on yes. He was creeped out, but at the same time, he was kind of happy. I can just imagine him. Yes, the spirits are on my side. This almost sounds like a scene from the show Stranger Things. That was a funny experience that they had, but they also had very terrifying ones. Let me know if you want to hear about them.
A part of me is just wondering, like, can spirits see the future? You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe they were just like, let's just freak with this dude. Just say yes. Like, how do you know spirits can really see the future, though? Like, can they even really see the future? Like, let's really be real for a second. What even would a... You know, they might actually be able to see the future. Because if they are spirits, that means to an extent they're not three-dimensional creatures. It means they would be of something of a higher dimension, which would give them access to the future. Honestly, to an extent, I think the spirits low-key can see the future. If what I'm saying is right, like if they are like on a higher dimension, I don't know, bro. I think personally they might be able to.
This is going to be your reaction through this creepy story. Last Halloween, Lily had just broken up with her boyfriend and decided to spend Halloween night at home with her parents. She still lives at home and just wasn't in the mood to go out and party. The three watched some scary movies and passed out candy to trick-or-treaters throughout the night. Around 10, Lily's parents were going to bed and told her they had placed the bowl of remaining candy on the front porch in case anyone else came by, and Lily was going to stay up and watch some more TV before heading to bed. Hours later, around midnight, came a knock at the door. "It's a little late for this, isn't it?" Lily said to herself as she stood up to look through the front window. On the porch was a man in a clown costume. The person looked to be an adult and was alone. Lily sat back down, figuring whoever he was would eventually leave. Another few moments passed, and then another knock. And then a voice emerged from behind the door. "There's no more candy," the voice said. It appeared the man was using a child's voice. The whole thing was creepy, and Lily once again thought that he would just leave. A few minutes passed, and it appeared that the man left. All was quiet, and Lily went back to watching TV, when suddenly, from the back door this time, another knock. And again, Lily heard that man's voice saying, "There's no more candy." Lily looked through the kitchen to see that same man in that clown costume at her back door trying to look inside. Lily ran in to wake her parents to tell them, but when her dad ran out to open the door, no one was there. Lily's parents agreed that this was very strange, but locked up for the night and everyone went to bed. A couple hours later at 2:30 a.m., Lily was awoken to a voice coming from her front yard. Her bedroom faced the street. She slowly stood up, walked over to the window where she saw that same man in the clown suit standing in her front yard. He was repeatedly yelling, "Make sure you have enough candy next year." Lily was petrified, ran back into her parents' room where they called police. But by the time they got there, he was gone. But they knew that he was there because they found this on their front lawn. Now, with Halloween only a couple days away, Lily is terrified that this man will return. So I guess the moral of this story would be, make sure you have enough candy, and make sure you have police on speed dial. Yikes. Do you have any creepy stories from Halloween?
You know, that's just the expression of that story, just because that's a grown man coming up to your door telling you, "Give me more." Hey man, not against anything, like you can do what you want, but like just don't be weird about it. If you want some free candy, bro, just be chill. Like come on, man.
Creepypasta has some of the creepiest stories, like this one. This one's called Backrooms, a never-ending, inescapable room that leads to nowhere. And don't forget about the night giants, creatures that are taller than houses, buildings. Or how about these lost episodes? I remember like watching this on YouTube like at 2 a.m. and being like really freaked out. There's a collection of stories from SpongeBob, Mickey Mouse, Toy Story. So the question is, what's your favorite creepypasta story? Comment below.
Backrooms is a big one. It actually, I'm pretty sure it got popular like around 3 years ago.
Oh my god, it looks like I'm in the back rooms.
And it's just like some random like uninhabited Sears mall like store. Just like
I'm in the back rooms.
But they're really not in the back rooms. They're just literally in an empty store that's not been renovated yet. But hey man, them back rooms do look kind of scary. Sometimes.
You're stuck on a school bus in the middle of nowhere. What do? And then you see this creature on the top of the bus just staring at you. In the movie Jeepers Creepers 2, this is what happened. If you get off the bus, bam, you get snatched. Remember, there's no internet, no signal, so you can't be vlogging on this trip. You're a student on the bus. How would you survive?
Man, that's insane. Imagine going to school and then boom, you step out, boom, you're just gone. He said, how would you survive? I mean, I never really watched Jeepers Creepers 2 or Jeepers Creepers in general. I might have to now. Like that looks like a very interesting concept for a movie.
These objects are appearing all over the country, so here's what we know so far. On Friday over Alaska, a second object was shot down. We still don't know what it is. On Saturday over Montana, radar anomaly detected but no object found. That same day, Saturday, a third object was shot down by Canada officials right over here. And today over Michigan, it's being reported that another object was shot down. If there's any new information, I'll keep you guys updated.
Did you know this is the shocking truth about Lady Gaga that most people don't talk about? Lady Gaga is currently ranked the #1 pop artist in America. She's a talented singer and songwriter, but did you know who she is today is not who she started out as? But listen to this. Just like the vast majority of artists today, there comes a point in their career where they're actually going to choose to sell their soul to the devil. And that's exactly what Lady Gaga did for fame and fortune. In fact, she's publicly dubbed herself the Bride of Satan. Her live concerts, songs, and music videos now have ritual satanic practices and other demonic things. The truth is, the devil is very real and he's not even hiding. But if you want to keep the door closed to the devil in your life, then watch the video below.
Not gonna lie, sometimes I be hearing artists talk about, yeah, I sold my soul and stuff like that. I'm like, bro, if you really sold your soul, why are you telling people you sold your soul? Like, there's a lot of artists out there that probably actually didn't even sell their soul, that just be saying it just for publicity. But I don't know, to an extent, the way how some artists do die, it does give off like, yo, I sold my soul vibes, if that makes sense. Like, some artists will get big super quick, like a year or two, get super big, and then die like a year later. And you're just like, that's a little strange.
If you haven't seen the latest conspiracy on TikTok, apparently Michelle Obama is a man. Or shall we say that she was born a man? There are hundreds of videos circling around on TikTok, but said video has racked up 9.8 million views. And it doesn't even matter if she was born a boy, but this photo is fake. Let's debunk this conspiracy. Here is the real image of Barack Obama and Michelle when they were younger and dating. A quick Google search will show that she was actually a beautiful young girl. So yeah, myth debunked, Michelle Obama was not born a man.
Yeah, there is a lot of people that do think that Michelle was a man at one point. It's kind of strange because I've seen like pictures and her back is literally built like my back. And I work out every day. I'm like, Michelle, what the hell? But I don't know, man. I mean, I don't... It's so hard to tell, but like... I've seen some videos. It's like, I wouldn't be surprised if she really was a man. Who knows? What do you think? Do you think that Michelle Obama is a man or was a man, or do you think that's just hearsay? All right, thank you guys for watching. Just remember that these chains are free for limited time only. Check the link in the description. If you guys like this video, please like the video. Let's try to run this video up to like at least 500 likes. I appreciate all the support I've been getting lately. My last video hit 1.4 thousand. Whoa, 1.4 thousand likes. That's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. Thank you guys so much for that. Almost at 1.4 million. That's why I paused for a second, because I was like, 1.4 million? That never happened. Imagine that did happen though. 1.4 million. That means my video probably hit like around 10 to 50 million views if that ever happened. Yo, that'd be insane. Maybe one day, possibly one day, I'll get 1.4 million likes. Now that'd be a journey, man. That'd be crazy. If I do end up getting 1.4 million likes in the future, I'm gonna come back to this video and post it on that video or the next video that I do. After that 1.4 million video. I'm gonna remember this moment and you guys remember it too. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Check out the next video. Peace out.